What is up, boys? Welcome back to the channel. We're back at it again. Sorry because I didn't post that often lately in the last couple of days. I was very busy with playing Casey Cup and I had to rest yesterday. But we're back at it again. For today we have something special. For today I'm going to do my best at predicting the new ban list. New ban list, you're saying? What ban list? Well, if you're living under the rock, or if you're a newbie in Duel Links, you may not know that we have ban list after every Casey Cup. So in this video you will find out, is your deck safe or will your deck be annihilated by the ban list? I'm just kidding. Your deck won't be won't get banned, don't worry. In this video I'm going to put my wish list and my predictions together to form, an opinion on what should be banned and what I think will be banned or limited, whatever. And also I'm going to, talk about the meta decks. I'm gonna talk about rogues, and I'm gonna talk about some skills like Destiny Draw, Endless Trap Hell, Cyberstyle, whatever, all that stuff. And also maybe some specific cards if they should get banned, like T.G.s. So without any further ado, let's hop into it. Let's start the prediction. As you can see from the popularity cards, T.G.s or Treacherous Trap Hole is one of the most played cards. It's actually second Evelyn Sin, which is kinda expected, to be honest. I do think that it needs to get banned, as it's really there is no place for it, especially with Book of Moon release. Means that you can play like 3 book double T.G.s and back row removal, and especially in Onomats, if you can draw into it, it seems like it's even more of the same card. So in my wish list I will put in T.G.s as getting banned, but it's Konami. Will they do it? I think so, but will they do it in this ban list or will they wait for another one? We can't really know. Like for Tronade, it was also expected. We all knew it was bound to happen, but we didn't know when it will happen. And I think it's a decent opportunity now because it's new worlds. We're all done with this meta. We're just hoping it refreshes a lot. So I think it's a decent opportunity to ban T.G.s. So yeah, that's my first take. I really want to happen. I really think it's unhealthy. Also, do keep in mind that I'm not trying to, I have lots of meta decks, and I'm not trying here to just, ban other decks that I don't like. I'm trying to be as much as objective for the health of the game, because, I will also predict something happening to my decks as well. Okay, so now that we have that out of the way, we can get into the tier list and see what needs to change in the meta. And also, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. It really means a lot. It really helps me to grow the channel so I can make more videos like this in the future. So yeah, join the community, join the fun. You won't regret it, hopefully. So anyways, let's see. This is the top tier decks that were specifically... This was the tier list specifically for the Casey Cup. So there are some decks like Evil Eye and Triamids, Lunalights, that maybe wouldn't have been on this tier list otherwise, in a side deck competition. So first of all, I'm gonna go from the worst decks to the top. It's more exciting. We're building up. So let's first of all start with Triamids. Should Triamids get limited in some form? Let's see, is there anything here that is, toxic for the game? Well, I wouldn't say so. T.G.s is a problem, but we already removed T.G.s from them, I already predicted it getting banned. So yeah, I would say that is the most important thing, and that is the only thing I would say that we should consider changing for Triamids. Next up we have T.G.s. Well, T.G.s are kinda new to the meta, So, you can make an argument that it's too early, or, it doesn't make sense to kill the deck that it's just came into the tier list. But I don't know how much Konami likes that T.G.s are being used with some older stuff with Dinos and Lightsworn engine. So I guess we could see them getting limited, so they can't play this version of traps. Do I think it will happen? Probably not, but they have also done more surprising things. Like for witchcrafters, they also they also found the Lightsworn engine, and they also became top tier, maybe a bit more top tier than T.G.s, but still. So it wouldn't surprise me, to be honest, if I don't know, if Booster Raptor or something goes to 2, or they change a skill so you can't use the Lightsworn engine. That wouldn't surprise me, I'm not gonna lie. Do I wish that happens? Not really. Because I don't think it's too toxic for the meta whatsoever. Also, I am a big T.G. fan. I would like to play the deck. If it stays unnerved, I may invest into getting my third Screw Serpent and stuff, so I can play the deck. Also, I could see like survivals and getting limited to 2, because that really is a card that builds tons of advantage and is a bit toxic for it's very hard to handle for tons of decks, because you can just Cosmic Cyclone it or MST it if it's already in the graveyard. So yeah. Okay, next up we have Resonators. Well, for showing the power of Resonators, I think it's a great thing. We can see it from experience. Like whenever I played against Resonators in the KC Cup, I was I was thrilled, because it's not Onomats, it's not Thunder Dragons, it's not Cyber Dragons, and those are hard matchups. Here you it's all linear. You kind of know what you're dealing with, and if you don't break, you kind of can just easily win. So yeah, Resonators can be an easy game in this meta for for the top decks. So I would say that that Resonators don't need a nerf. Could they see a nerf? Sure. Like this is the question: how much do they want to promote pendulums? How much are they willing to kill the meta to to rebuild with the pendulums? Now I could see like that's common thought in the community, that Wildwind can get to limited to 2, because it's a ultra rare card, yes, but from the event, and then that takes out the limit 2s from the deck. So yeah, that could happen. That is not impossible that it won't happen. Should that happen, I don't know. But I think that even if that happens, that doesn't really kill the deck, that it's still gonna be top tier. So yeah. So Lunalights. Oh boy. This is an interesting one. Well, I will probably put out a very unpopular opinion, and many people won't expect this, but I am predicting a nerf for Lunalights. And no, it's not because I get sacked by the deck. I even play the deck, I have the cards. So from my investment point of view, I wouldn't like the deck to get nerfed, but I do want to have. I have this gut feeling that they will nerf it. And what will they do? Well, I'd like to think, what is the problem of the deck? What is that makes the deck really toxic? Well, I would say it's not Saber Dancer, because even the decks that don't have an out find an out with the extra deck. So what is then the problem? Well, the problem is when you're trying to deal with the Cyber Dancer, is then you get OTK'd by the Fox, and the Dancer OTK, So you basically get punished for trying to get rid of the Saber Dancer, which I don't think is, it's a bit problematic, I would say. But also that on its own, I wouldn't say it's that problematic. I don't think it's a necessary thing, you know. Um, but especially if we consider that they will release probably Lunalights support, maybe they want to, you know, limit down a deck a bit, so, you know, the deck won't get, you know, tier 0 toxic when they get support. So now would be the perfect time to you know, to cut them a little bit, so when the support comes, they become really good. And so finally, what do you predict, bro? Like, you're telling me all this stuff, but what do you predict? Well, I wanted to first to first point these things out, because if you just hear it on your own, it may sound a bit crazy, but I am predicting that Crimson Fox will get banned as well as TTH. And yeah, that may sound something like crazy. Maybe it will get put to 1, but I think that the whole interaction with Fox and the thing that it can get sent by even Neos Fusion and stuff like that, that it had interactions like that, and that it will always find some toxic way to use. I think they could see that, you know, you can't really do anything else to the deck besides getting the Fox, because that's really the problem when you get, you know, when you get OTK'd for trying to play the game and trying to destroy the Saber Dancer. You know, I have to have a wild guess, you know. Sometimes most probably that won't happen, of course, but, you know, I have this hunch, I have this gut feeling that it may happen to promote Lunalights, to promote the new stuff that they will release. But, you know, it's, I don't know. Do I want it to happen? Does it need to happen? Not really. I'm just putting it out because if it happens, I'm gonna I'm gonna look like a king, you know. So I have literally 0 things to lose. Okay, next up we have Harpies. Well, what about Harpies? Well, what is the most oppressive thing in this deck? And I would say I have an unpopular opinion about this as well. Most people like to say just elegant egotist to 2. Well, there is no need for that if we're banning TTH, you know. Most people don't see TTH getting banned, so that's the reason. But I would say also the most problematic thing is that it really fucks with the back row. The skill kinda annihilates the back row, especially when you can't just stop them from summoning if they have Swallow's Nest. So what should they do? I would say limit the skill, because it's a +1. It destroys the back row, you know, if you go second easily, and if you go first, you have an amazing board. Plus, you can return the card, the Harpies Hunting Ground, back with the Oracle. So I would say that limit the skill, or maybe even both. Put Swallow's Nest to 2, because I think that Swallow's Nest is a really problematic thing, because you can't just book them, you can't just Canadia them, you can't just Fiendish Chain them, you can't just Floodgate them. They will just bounce into other stuff, and they have no really downsides from that. Swallow's Nest is an SR from an old box, so yeah, that could really be a decent limit, I would say, especially because they will just lose 1 Swallows. Besides that, I don't think there is nothing too crazy about the deck. I think it will still be top tier. I think it's a still great deck to have, because it's good. It is amazing against the back row decks. Plus, it will probably be even much better if Onomats get, destroyed by the ban list, really. Okay, next up we have Gaia. Well, for Gaia, I may also have an unpopular opinion, but I think that if everything gets, if the ban list really hits the meta decks, that Gaia can become really good because they have a very good turn 1 play where they have multiple interruptions with their monster. They are also extremely consistent, so you know, already that power plus consistency, already that is looking like something that could be abused. Okay, so what is the solution? Well, I have no clue. I guess they could hit Gateway to Chaos. That's a card that they could be hit, or maybe even Sky Galloping Gaia, the Dragon Champion. But I don't see it happening. My prediction is that nothing will happen to the deck. I'm just saying to be cautious that the deck could become, you know, a bit too oppressive. Maybe, you know, you never know. So yeah, that's basically it for Gaia. And so here we are, Evil Eyes. If you know me, if you're you know regular on the channel, you know that I'm a big Evil Eye connoisseur enthusiast. So yeah, I pretty much know the deck. I know what the toxic stuff is. You know, I know the weaknesses, what should be banned, what shouldn't. You know, so what should happen to Evil Eyes? Do they need a nerf? Well, I wouldn't say so. Level tuning can be a bit oppressive to play against with the Utopia Ray Cheese. I don't think that was intended at all when level tuning was created, so it may happen. I wouldn't be surprised. Will it happen though? I'm not sure, because that it does promote their Utopia Ray and Utopia combo, and also Evil Eyes is not that oppressive deck, to be honest. So some people predicted that Storm will, like Decade said that Storm will get unnerved because they will kill Cyber Dragons or something. To be honest, I don't see it happening because Storm is basically a Tornade for some decks. You know, for Evil Eyes, Storm is literally just a Tornade. Even better, because you get your searches with the Gorgon and Celine gets back from the graveyard, and Medusa can just, you know, return them back from the graveyard, any of your stuff. So it does, you know, it's literally a better Tornade for Evil Eyes. So I don't think that Storm has the Storm when used has a healthy, you know, it's never used in a healthy way. If it's used like it, yeah, sure, for Onomats it may not be the best card. Sure, it may not be for Harpies or for I don't know, Resonators, whatever. But for the decks that do utilize it, it's, you know, it's not used in a very interactive manner whatsoever. So I don't see it getting removed from the limit 1 list. It may happen, you know, you never know. But yeah, that's basically it. I don't think the Evil Eyes deserve any more nerfs besides that. Okay, so finally we're getting into the spice. Thunder Dragons. Should they get nerfed? Should they not get nerfed? Like, let's be honest, Thunder Dragons are getting nerfed. Like, there's no question, there's no, like, zero question about it. To be honest, from the investment point of view, it's not the best thing for me, as I do own, you know, the whole deck, basically. But it is the oldest deck in the meta. It's extremely old, so it's very expected. Also, it is the best deck of the format, non-side deck. It did win the KC Cup as well, so yeah, it's pretty obvious that Thunder Dragons will get some form of nerfs. So what is the problem with Thunder Dragons? Well, basically, I think that no one wants to see Levianeer be played with Thunder Dragons. Thunder Dragons on their own are very fun. They don't do much without the advantage that Levianeer brings. So how do they do that? Well, I would assume they will have to in some way remove the Levianeer from the deck, or kill the rest of the deck, like put, I don't know, Dark to 2 and Lupine, ban Lupine or something. So the first solution I would propose is Levianeer to 3 and Dark to 3. Something like this already happened with Dark being limited, so I could see it happening. Of course, Levineer is an ultra rare, so from the main box, so getting more than limited to 3 is kind of not expected. So if we put Dark to 3, they will have to kind of play either 2 Darks and 2 Darks and 1 Levy, or 1 Levy and 2 Darks. So I think they would play like 1 Levy plus a Melody, and I think that's fine if you have to play like around 1 Melody, 1 Levianeer. I think that straight up removes the deck from the meta. I would think probably, and I think that even if they do decide to go for double Levy, that 1 Dark makes them search so much less that it really, it doesn't pay off that much. So yeah, that's my stance on that. Hopefully they don't hit Lupine, because it's really integral for the deck. I don't want to see the deck being killed like they did for Shernui, they did for Christrons, like they did for Dark Magician. I like them to, kind of get out of the meta, but still be, played by some people who had the investment. So I don't think that hitting Lupine or something is a good idea, to be honest. Oh boy, we're getting into it. We're getting into it now, bro. Like Cyber Dragons. Speaking of old and unhealthy in the meta, well, I think it's like everyone is sick and tired of Cyber Dragons. Like, there is no question about it. The deck is extremely toxic, because it literally OTKs through anything and everything. They just have to open well. The deck has literally 0 interaction. So where do we even start? What is the problem? What? Well, if we can see from the deck, I think it's obvious to see that they're only playing 4 monsters, and if the deck is playing only 4 monsters, that's a clear indicator that it's probably not the healthiest. So the deck really punishes you for trying to play. If you try to attack them, they trigger their skill. If you try to stall it out a bit, to not attack them, they will just top deck core and OTK you through your whole board. So the deck really has to die, in my opinion. So what is the problem? I would say it's the skill, and I think it's pretty obvious, to be honest. Like, you can just summon as many of your proto cyber monsters if you lose life points. I think it's unhealthy interaction for the game. So I do predict, I do think that it will happen. Do I predict it will happen? I don't know. Maybe there are some people who said they will just limit to 3 the fusion gate, so they can play cosmic and stuff. I don't think that will kill the deck. I really want the deck like completely gone. Not the deck necessarily, but the strategy. Like, if they decide to play more Cyber Dragon monsters, like, that's fine, because then you don't open your books, your Herald, your fusion gate, your other stuff. You will have much less consistency, and that will it's much easier to play against. Either, I would say, the solution is to completely destroy the skill, or they put a limitation that says you have to play it with 10 or more Cyber Dragon monsters or something like that. So yeah, anyways, I want the deck gone. I think it's not healthy whatsoever. I think it's completely not used in a healthy interaction. Maybe I'm biased a bit, sure. But yeah, that's basically my stance on that. And finally we're here at the top with Onomats. Well, you know me, you do know that I do have Onomats. So from the investment point, again, it's not in my interest to get the best deck limited, to remove the best deck. So yeah, but that said, I think the deck needs to get straight up, cut down in size. So where do we begin? I think it's kinda obvious that the skill is an issue. because it's too consistent, it's too good, because you can draw with do draw to draw into your stuff. So I think that the deck needs to get rid of the do draw in some way. Plus, I think they should limit a skill, maybe, I would say. I think if we limit the skill and if we limit the do draw, I think the deck will get much better, because not much better, but it will get much more help, you know, it will be much less oppressive, because with do draw you can draw into all of your other stuff. It's literally drawing 2 plus an onomatopoeia can be special summoned back, so you know it's literally free advantage. But also, if we limit the skill, they can search so much for their one-offs, one-off sister and one-off head, so that will limit the deck even further. Do that. Well, the obvious thing is to put onomatopoeia to once per duel. Do I think it will happen? I don't know, to be honest. They haven't done the similar things to enemy skills. Like when the skill is toxic, it's usually that the random new deck breaks an already already generic skill we have in the game. So we're kinda in a new territory here with enemy skills. So yeah, I don't know. Let's hope so. Let's say, yeah, that it will happen. And now the next thing is do draw. I guess we could limit it to 2, but they will then remove the do draw and they will play more traps. I'd like to see do draw being used with in a pure onomatopoeia deck without the sister and the head. Sister and head interaction is too good in this format, at least, because sister is a +1. It searches for the bolt, and then he can bolt, you can bolt whatever you want, a back row monster, whatever, really. Or even return it with a skill to grab the coat and to go into your, if it's literally it's literally a rank, sister is literally a bouncer, a rank 6 succeed, because you normal summon it, you search, you can return, grab a code special summons, and here you go. And then if that's not good enough, you have the follow-up in the Gaia head, which special summons 2 monsters that you have from the first turn, and then you have your exceed plus a coat, plus you draw another card with the head. And if you combine that with all the back row, it's too oppressive. It's too much on it builds too much advantage on the first couple of turns, and it's too much for most of the decks. So yeah, I like first of all pointing out what is the toxic part. Now the solution, then we can discuss, we can predict, maybe they will do this, maybe do that. I don't know the solution here. I'm just saying it needs to get cut, straight up from the meta. I don't want to see it. I would like they get a blue eyes treatment, like, sure, you invested into your deck, we won't kill it, but it will get to just being a rogue deck that you can still sometimes find it in tournaments, but and on the ladder, but it's not meta. So that's what I'm hoping for. Will that happen? We will have to wait and see. I don't know. But yeah, that's basically it for the decks. Now I do want to talk some more about the specific skills. So if we check the most popular skills, we can see here, and maybe we can predict what are the most oppressive ones. Of course, Ultimate Dragons, because it's blue eyes on the ladder, whatever. I don't think it's too oppressive. I think it's fine, I guess. Now here we have Destiny Draw, and Destiny Draw I think needs to get nerfed. I would say that putting it down to when you're at 1000 life points or below, that then you can draw any card. I think that would be a much healthier variant, because then you can't even veil, then it's much harder to defend, so I think that will make the skill much worse, and then the decks that gain tons of advantage by drawing their one card to they will kind of fall off. Yeah, I'm hoping it happens, but you never know with Konami. So yeah. We already discussed Onomata Play, we already discussed Harpies Hunting Ground, we already discussed the Dragon Knight's Path, although not in depth, but I think we covered it decently. Cyber Style we already discussed. And now Endless Trap Hell. That's the skill that I would like to discuss. Well, lots of my decks do utilize the skill, so in my interest it is not, it is not that it gets nerfed, but I think that it can be a bit problematic, that it gains so much advantage fast. Like when you return your traps in the later stages of the game, it's not that bad, you gain advantage, 1 card advantage at turn whatever. But when you can use all of your 3 cards that you set on your first turn and then get 1 back on your next turn, that is kind of not healthy enough, I would say. Maybe if they put it after turn 5, after turn 7, whatever, or maybe if they put a restriction, the skill could be much less toxic. If they can put a restriction like or another thing to the skill, like then you have to return 1 card from the hand to the deck, or you have to have 7 or more traps, whatever. But I would predict it happening at some point down the road, maybe in this ban list, maybe in some other. Also, if we're checking the top decks here, is there anything that stands out as really unhealthy? I don't think so, but let's see anything here. No, I don't see anything unhealthy here. Of course, if we're here at the stall, here we can look at the Hero Flash. And what about Hero Flash? Should it get, nerfed? Well, I like the Hero Flash version that uses Stratus and heroes that you can kind of play. Your win condition is not stalling, but your win condition is pure beatdown with the heroes. So I would predict that the skill will specifically say you can only play heroes, so that then limits you from playing whale and stuff. And hopefully they limit the deck so that it doesn't get that much advantage with discarding and with the traps. I don't know, they will have to kill the skill like they did with 1-card wonder. Do I predict it happening? Absolutely yes. They will nerf the skill completely for sure. Now the question is when. Will they do it in this ban list? I would say so, yes. So yeah, we're hopefully getting rid of the Hero Flash as well, and that's basically it. That's my predictions. I want to hear yours. Of course, I'm always open to criticism, like this won't happen, but this will happen. Sure, I would like to hear your thoughts. I just wanted to share mine and my take on the meta, my take on the what is healthy, what is not, how the game should progress. So yeah, that's basically it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video as always, and yeah, stay tuned for the other ones, and see you in the next one. Bye.